Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. We are your counselors this evening, Jason,
I'm Jeremy.
and I almost forgot what we were doing.
Why? Why? How did you almost forget?
Well, we haven't been on here for a while.
It has been a very long time.
It's been long. It's been tiring. It's been um, all sorts of stuff. But fortunately, we're coming back to. Oh God, it's gonna blow up in my ears. Fortunately, we are coming back to uh, Psycho. And
The
the great
greatest
thing
one of them
about
all.
the what?
It's the greatest psycho of them all. Greatest
Oh,
psycho
shut
of
up,
them all.
Jerry. I
Greatest
had to
psycho
watch this.
of them all.
I ended up watching this one twice. And you know what? You know what the great thing about you know what the great thing is about, us watching this particular movie and going away from it for a week or whatever and then doing this episode.
What's that? Uh oh. We're already catching it. You froze up a little bit.
Sure it wasn't you.
Pretty sure.
So, yeah, so we ended up skipping Psycho 4, Bates Motel, that kind of stuff, but we ended up with this one, and let me tell you, this one was it was essentially the same thing. So, Jeremy, when you talk about Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 being the same thing as the original Psycho, well, this is the original Psycho just with color. So, yay.
Yeah, but it's Vince Vaughn.
I didn't like him.
You didn't like him.
Not really.
Why?
He he just doesn't have the charm. There's there's something about Anthony Perkins that when you watch Psycho for the first time, you never seen Psycho, never experienced it. You watch it, and Anthony Perkins gives this performance that it's very friendly, it's very welcoming. So when it turns out, and throughout the entire movie, you might think, "Oh, it's his mom's killing people." That. You look at the movie and you realize that by the twist end of it, where it's Norman Bates that's the killer with his mom in his head, type of thing. You kind of go, "Wow, that's an interesting twist. How would a nice guy, how a nice, welcoming guy like him, be a killer?" You know? And then in this one, you have Vince Vaughn. And he just screams. Like, as soon as he pops up on screen, he's just kind of like, ew. Ew. There's just something about him.
I think that's why I liked him so
He does.
much. I think that's honestly why I liked him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not as good as Anthony Perkins. I will agree with you on that. But I think he added a new style to the character. That
Yeah. Yeah, creepy little one.
And I think that's what made it. That's what I liked about it. It's like he looks creepy.
Yeah, he is definitely one of those. Like, when you. Now, I know at the time, um, when the original one was made, there was a lot of stuff you could show on TV or you could stream. There's plenty of stuff that you couldn't show. Um, but he had this air about him that was like, oh, how do I describe it? He was attracted to the ladies, but he didn't know how to,
Talk to him.
go about it. Talk to him. He was shy around him. He's kind of nervous. Probably because of mother. He didn't want to, and it seemed like every time he may have gotten close to one or had some sort of feelings or attraction to one, mother would step in and, acts it, right? This one, I think he's just creepy. He's just, even like, I'm not going to, you know, say anything innocent about like the peephole in the original, because he had a peephole in that one too. He's looking in there, and he's looking, but I don't know if that was just his way of like studying or just kind of looking in or whatnot. But Vince made it creepy, entirely creepy, and he continued to make the movie creepy as he continued on. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, I think in the last couple episodes, this movie. Now we've seen remakes. We've seen.
This is not the worst remake that I've seen.
Okay, Jeremy. Well, what is the worst remake that you've seen?
Like on this podcast, or just in general?
Sure. Let's say this podcast first, and then in general.
Crap, I don't know. We've watched so many movies on this. I forgot what we've watched.
Oh, we've had Nightmare on Elm Street. We've had Friday the 13th. Really, I don't know if we've had too many remakes.
Pet Sematary was a remake.
Pet Sematary had a remake, yes.
We haven't got to Halloween 2 yet.
And no, we haven't got to Halloween 2. Which one?
The Rob Zombie, the remake.
Oh God. So, fine. What's your worst remake of all time?
What's yours?
You could throw a question like, I didn't bring it up. I didn't say this. Huh?
What's yours?
What's my favorite scary movie?
No. What's the worst remake?
What's your favorite? What's your least favorite remake? Oh God, people are gonna start walking away after this. So far, just off this podcast alone, probably this movie. And that's kind of a... I mean, I guess it's not entirely a critical thing, because, I mean, there's plenty of, like, video games, like Alan Wake. They had, like, the original Alan Wake, and then they had the Alan Wake remastered. And I do like the remastered, I think it just, in some sense, it's... I think in that case, it's like, it's the same thing, but it's cleaner. The graphics are updated, a little bit more polished, a little better playthrough, type of stuff like that. This one, it's essentially the same movie that you're getting, just a bit salt on top right there. Just add a little bit. That's what you got. It's the same thing, just a little dab. Yeah, a little dab on that. So
I will say, this one had a star-studded cast.
I knew Vince Vaughn was in it. I knew that his William H. Macy, right? Did I butcher that?
Yeah, William H. Macy.
Yeah, okay, so I got the name right. It didn't sound right coming out of my mouth. That's why I was like, oh, I think that I did. I said something wrong there. No, him, and I knew, was it Julianne Moore?
Yep.
I knew all three of those were in the movie. I was not aware that Viggo Mortensen was in this movie. What is it? The lady from... Was it the lady from Miss...
It's Anne Hesh.
No. Oh, yeah, well, I knew she was in the film. Everyone knows I'm hoping that everyone knew she was in the film. She's the leading lady there, but... no, then you start getting into some of the side characters, like the sheriff and his wife.
Oh yeah, Sheriff Chambers is played by Philip Baker Hall, who I know from Seinfeld.
Isn't his like isn't his wife in the movie? Wasn't she like in Miss Doubtfire?
Yes.
Yes, she was the lady who came by.
Mrs. Sellner. Yeah, she was the one that's like, hello!
Yes, I was like, I recognized her face.
She was also in Liar Liar. She played his assistant.
Mm. And I recognized her coworker, um, and I recognized her boss. I didn't recognize the old Texan there. This movie, the only real update to it was the setting itself. They, instead of doing it back in whenever the original Psycho came out, it took place in the 90s,
Yeah.
which makes it really weird for me because a lot of her outfits almost didn't seem to match the time period for me. It was like, wow, she just come from the 60s and that time traveling at this point. But
I will say the one thing about this movie, comparatively to the other remakes that we've seen, it didn't add anything new.
oh no, there was some new stuff involved. No, there was minor little things like I said, the time period. You know, you had the 90s. You know,
Yeah, but
Moore's
that
Moore's
doesn't.
character came in with like the heads. No, remember when William H. Macy was going up the stairs for Abergast's death, and they did the same shoot where she came out.
Sure.
Yeah, well, she cut him in the face twice, which didn't happen in the original.
Oh Lord, help me.
And then he felt
I mean, actually,
no,
legitimately new.
no, listen. And when he got the first slash, whoosh, there was that weird, strange image of like the lady with the black mask. Remember that? That little quick flash? And then he got the next cut, and then there was apparently like a cow in the middle of the road or something. And then he fell down the stairs, and then he got stabbed to death. Those were new things added, and we don't know why. I even looked at.
Yeah.
Did you find anything on that? Because I was looking up some like little trivia, like little knowledge pieces for this movie, and someone pointed out, it's like, oh, when Abergast died, this picture happened, this picture happened. And I was trying to find why. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't know what the
So apparently, they brought a DVD player to play the original Psycho on set and used it as a reference. And when they spotted a mistake, like a door opening without a key, they decided to put the same mistake into this film.
Yeah, from what I understand, they were shooting this movie as close to the original as possible. They're talking the same camera angles. They're talking, now, like I said, some of it's different. Some of the dialogue is a little bit different. The characteristics of the people are different. You know, the director said just because Anne was playing Marion and she was saying the same thing, she performed it in a different way. You know,
When Robert Forster received the script, he believed the producers had accidentally sent him a copy of the script from Psycho 1960 and had his agent contact the producers to request a copy of the new script. Director Gus Van Sant then personally contacted Forster to confirm they were in fact using the exact same script from the original movie.
they were essentially making the same movie. And
Huh. Guess who is actually in the running to play Anne Heche's character? I forgot her name already.
Marion Crane.
Yeah. Guess
Who?
Laura Linney. She turned it down for the Truman Show.
Oh, bet she was regretting her decision at this point.
I doubt it. I would have taken the Truman Show over Psycho. Are you kidding?
That was sarcasm, Jeremy.
I was about to say.
Actually, I would. I don't know, man. Psycho already has a history to it, so I don't know. Psycho would have been a pretty big one, but yeah, I mean, it like we just said, it's essentially the same movie, just updated, And like I said, some of the changes to it, the personalities of Vaughn and Hesh and my God, just it's been a little while.
Oh my God.
What?
The people that were considered for the role of Norman Bates instead of Vince Vaughn.
Oh, please tell me like Tom Cruise was in there.
I wish, but that would be great. Christian Bale.
He's already done a Psycho movie, so okay.
Well, this was before. Jeremy Davies.
Who is that?
He played Lawrence in Twister.
Lawrence. Who's Lawrence?
I don't know. He's also in Save It Private Ryan.
He played Lawrence. Wait. Wasn't Lawrence the guy who was driving Darth Vader around?
I think so, maybe.
I have to look at the picture.
Yeah, I don't.
Take a look.
So you had him.
You said Jeremy Davies?
Yeah. Henry Thomas.
That name sounds familiar.
He played Elliot in E.T.
Actually, you know what?
He's also in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, you said he played Elliot in E.T.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice throwback because he actually played a young Norman Bates.
Yep.
In the fourth movie, and that would have been a really cool kind of twist on it. But
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh Lord, seriously.
Joker.
Yeah, I know.
And he played Johnny Cash.
That I do know, yes.
Two more. Are you ready?
Oh boy.
Robert Sean Leonard. I don't know if you know who that is.
Sorry, you cut it out there for a second. No. Okay.
Opposite of Hugh Laurie.
Oh.
He plays the best friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, last, but certainly not least, Peter Parker himself, Tobey Maguire.
Ew. Yeah.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
No. Davies, Lawrence was one of the guys that was working with
Jonas.
No, it was Joe and Bill.
Oh.
He was the guy who he was kind of that like thin like guy who's always in the background.
Oh, okay.
They kind of like the slightly longer hair. Yeah.
All I know is that I would have loved to see a Tobey Maguire Norman Bates.
Okay, so this movie came out, what, 98?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
You're looking when the first Spider-Man came out, aren't you?
No. Oh, no. I want to... Vince Vaughn, there he is. I'm trying to see kind of like what Vince Vaughn had done before this movie.
Hey, they also considered Nicole Kidman and Drew Barrymore for Marion.
I don't think we would get the same feels. Okay. First of all, scratch the first one.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore, on the other hand, would have been interesting, but we've already seen her in we'd already seen her in.
Critics actually believe that Vince Vaughn and Viggo Mortensen should have swapped roles. Have Vince Vaughn play the boyfriend while Viggo plays Norman Bates.
I mean, I can see that a little better. Not him being the boyfriend, Sam Loomis. Uh, uh, Vigo would have been probably a better choice for Norman because he's kind of got that, you know, oh, this guy can't be bad. Let's see here.
Yeah. Like I said, one thing about this movie is it had a really, really good cast.
Psycho. Okay.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore were in The Lost World 1 year before this movie came out.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Lost World was a big one, I think. He's in a lot of TV shows before this.
Who, Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
He did some movies, not too many.
Yeah, I mean, this had to have been kind of like, besides his... Yeah, he doesn't have like a whole mess of like big things beforehand. That's strange. So I guess this is kind of, I mean,
It was Vince Vaughn. It was kind of like he kind of went into this niche, and then with movies, like
Yeah.
it looked like at the
Maybe
beginning he was
Friends
trying to find what to do, and then he got into comedy, and that's just where he stuck. Because, I mean, in 2001, he did Domestic Disturbance, and then he went into Old School, and that's when he started doing just comedies.
yeah.
Then he went into, like, because he did Starsky and Hutch, then he did Dodgeball, you know, The Wedding Crashers, The Breakup,
Yeah.
Four Christmases, Couples Retreat, just comedy after comedy. So, it was just a thing, and now he really doesn't do a whole lot. He does some TV series, but that's about it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I thought so. I thought so. I'm looking at this thing about Julianne Moore when she was cast as Lila Crane. She did come off as a bit more aggressive.
She did, very much so.
I think the only person who really portrayed their character according to this, who betrayed their character close to the original, was William H. Macy. Everyone else kind of did their own thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but I mean, overall, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you change a couple of things a little bit here, a little bit there, but it just doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it, Jeremy. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I had it muted while I was typing. There were a lot of things in this movie that didn't cut it. But the one thing I did like that was good compared to the original is I did like the kind of angled shot that they did with Vince Vaughn looking up. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
You mean like right at the ending?
Definitely. It gave the creepy vibe.
That, yeah, well, that, kind of gives it that idea of like maybe it's not a mother persona, or I guess, but maybe it's him. Who knows? All I know is that skull that they imposed on Anthony Perkins at the end of his movie, the one that they used in this movie was the exact same one.
That's not surprising.
Which is it's so shocking to say, considering this movie is exactly the same. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny because we even mentioned it in the original when they did Abergast's death, and he's doing that fall down the stairs. It looks really silly because it's like
Yep.
shot, yeah, the way it's shot. Um, I guess William H Macy was like, I'm not really a big fan of the way that looked, so he was even like, I'll fall down the stairs for real. We'll get it, make it look real. And the guy's like, no, we're gonna do it the way it's. We're gonna do it the old fashioned way.
God, it was so bad.
Oh, oh.
They had some weird green screen effects going on in this movie.
Yes, they did. They did a lot of green screening. I think for the. I don't even entirely know how you would do green screening unless in the old days they would, you know, shoot like the from the interior of the car and then maybe shoot out on a street and then just impose the film together or whatever. I'm no film guy. I don't know how this works. I know like nowadays you just go, "Oh, you green screen?" You shoot in front of a green screen, then you get on your computer and add all the background stuff. But like then back in the 60s, I'm pretty sure they didn't have that kind of technology, so it had to have been like shoot one location, shoot another, and then just slap it together, which is what made kind of the depth perception it looks like in the original kind of off, which is fine because that's classic film, right? You're used to those kinds of things when you're watching a black and white film. When Abergast falls down the stairs, feels like a old time movie, which is what it's supposed to feel like. But in this one, when you're doing the same scenes, and you have her sitting in the car and she's looking out the windshield, and you see her boss and the guy walking across the street, and it's got that really weird kind of green screen background. Kind of makes you go, that doesn't feel right.
Oh my god, I didn't have a favorite scene in the movie, and Jason told me he didn't really have one either, but
All right, because it would essentially be the same thing as it was before. Either the shower scene with more butt in it, or I mean, or the scene. Now, I remember my favorite scene from the original Psycho was uh, of course, it's the shower scene, but it's also the one where it's his mom is revealed, right? When
yeah,
uh, he goes down there, spins the chair around. In this one, in the original, it was a fruit cellar. It was just a basement
yep.
underneath the house. The strange thing about this one is that the basement or whatever was full of birds. I mean, they might have been. See, this is the thing that I don't get. This is what makes it kind of a miss for me is because you want to shoot it shot for shot and be the same movie, same dialogue, unless you change it to make it a little bit more present. But it's exactly the same, which is fine. But you make these slight changes, like when Abergast gets his face cut, and you get these weird clips of like a cow in the road, or the naked lady with the mask, or when you go into the basement and you find Norman's mom. It's not a fruit cellar. It's almost like a lab with birds and bright lights, and it's just like, what are we doing with this? What is the point? Why is this added? What makes this now, like Abergast being cut in the face is new. It's something that you can go, ooh, a little bit of actual on-screen violence. That's even though you just did a shower scene where there are no where she doesn't get stabbed. It's done the same way where you just see the knife come at her, and she's like, no, 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 and then they actually like the marks that were even on her were touched up digitally. They weren't even like practical. They just kind of touched them in there just to give it some sort of shock value. But I mean, yes, there's blood in the original, but it was a syrup. And with a black and white, you can't really tell. And there's not a whole lot of it. This one, they had no problem showing a lot more blood on screen. And it just felt weird. Because, like, when Marion shows up and he shows her to the room and he's showing her everything, in the original, he opens up the bathroom. And he's like, this is the and she's like, bathroom. He's like, yeah, that. And, you flick the light on. It looks like a normal bathroom. Like I said, once again, we're talking black and white. So, you're not getting a lot of color or anything like that. But it just looks like a normal bathroom. It's what it looks like. In this one, he invites you to same scene. He turns on light. That light comes on with such a fluorescent power to it. And that bathroom is so white. It is like hospital sterile white. It hurt my eyes when he turned that light on. It was like walking into a spaceship, Jeremy.
PJ says she's not a fan of Anne Heche in this, by the way.
I mean, she didn't do anything that I didn't like.
Okay. I like the car scene when she was trading the car in.
Yes, because that's completely natural. Look, there is a lot of weird stuff, even in the Hitchcock one. Okay, it's still considered one of my favorite movies, but there is just some weird stuff going on. But I guess that could make sense in the '60s. You pull up to a car dealership, and she seems fishy.
Oh yeah.
You pull up. You sell your car, you give the guy $4,000, and you peel out. I mean, maybe that I didn't live during the '60s. That could have been easily transactionable right there. But in the '90s, it seems kind of like, even when you got the cops staring at you.
Oh yeah, that guy was like this.
Yeah, he was, and I think I recognize that actor too. But yeah, so you just got the cops staring at her. And here's the thing that I just don't get. Maybe it had to do with the writing. I don't know with the original one, but the cop. She's asleep on the side of the road in her car. The cop shows up, runs the gauntlet of questions and whatnot, sends her on her way. Right? So she's driving. He gets up behind her. He's following her. He pulls off the interstate, right? She keeps going. So she gets the idea, I'm going to sell my car and get a new one. So that's what she does. But the cop shows up, and he's sitting there watching her. He's watching her. She does the exchange. She jumps back in the car, nearly leaves her bags, because she's so paranoid at this point. She hightails it, and the cop starts talking to the salesman, and that is it. You never see him ever again. Didn't want to track her down the road a little bit more. Seems kind of fishy, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that was just some writing thing. Are you still sitting there, Jeremy? I can't tell if you're frozen. No, you're not frozen because your cheeks are starting to move. I was like, oh man, I think my screen froze.
No, I was playing the cop.
But yeah, so this I mean, the little things that they did add to the movie I didn't care for, because first of all, they didn't really explain anything.
The patrol guy was James Raymer. Oh, he looks very, very familiar. I think I know exactly who this is.
Like I said, I recognized a lot of faces, but I just didn't know exactly who they were or where they came from.
Where have I seen him at? He has a lot of voices.
Well,
he played the voice of Sideswipe in Dark of the Moon.
Yeah, that helps, because I recognized his face from his voice, Jeremy.
Could
Oh,
have.
you see that cop right there with those glasses? Ah, I've seen him somewhere. I think he's a big giant robot that transforms into a car.
Wait.
Wait. I think I found something.
I think I know where I've seen him at.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, he's in the Warriors.
What was it? What is his name?
Hold on, I'll find it.
I could probably look at this thing.
Yeah, he plays Ajax in the Warriors.
Oh, okay.
I've met him.
You you met him?
Yeah, that's Dexter's dad from Dexter. I have his signature on my wall. Right there.
And you didn't even recognize
I
him.
didn't recognize. He never took his sunglasses off. I knew when I pulled his IMDb up, I knew I recognized him.
Wasn't he in like one of the Mortal Kombat movies?
Maybe.
I thought he was like in one of those. I thought it was like Annihilation.
He's actually in Transformer. He does, like I say, he does a lot of voices too. But yeah, that's where I've met him. I have his thing over there.
Wow. I met this person. I didn't even know who they were because they were wearing glasses.
He was younger too.
I still recognized him, Jeremy. And just didn't know where.
I did once I clicked on his name.
So. But yeah, I mean, like I said,
Well,
I don't want to say it's the worst remake ever, but I'm definitely going to put it down on the bottom of my list because the original is just it's one of the best movies out there. And if you want to remake a movie shot for shot, do it exactly the same, that's fine. I don't know why you would. I mean, I guess because like this guy said,
so no one
else has.
Yeah, so no one else could.
But I just think with the way the characters have been portrayed, especially Norman Bates being like this kind of tragic character from 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, we can't really say anything about 4, but like I said, I believe 4 was just supposed to be a direct sequel to the original.
Yeah, we couldn't find it anywhere.
And Bates Motel just was entirely different. But with his character arc from 1, 2, and 3, he was just a very tragic character that, you know, had everything stacked against him, it seemed. This one, I wish they would just lock him away for good. Just.
Well, let's see if the remake, shot for shot, equals the same ratings. Shot for shot.
I'm going to go with a big no.
On IMDb with 51,000 votes on a scale of 1 to 10, how do y'all think the people of the world rated the remake of Psycho?
Oh, God.
Remember, it has been a while since we've played, so we do play Price is Right rules. PJ is going with the 4.8.
I am going to give it a... Well, why is my... I'm giving it a big old fat 3.
Is Ravenfire playing?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if she's in the other room that much is for sure, so...
Huh. Well... Dang, PJ, you missed it by 0.02. You are Anne Hetch getting stabbed. It was a 4.6 out of 10.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So close, but yet so far.
And the money gets tossed away.
Now we move on to the Batesometer.
Remind me, in the 90s, they had air conditioning in the 90s, right?
Not in these hotels.
Or those offices, apparently.
Yeah. So, on a scale of 0 to 100, what do y'all think the critics gave this shot-for-shot remake?
30. Staying with my threes.
PJ with the 37, Jason with the 30. Jason, you're William H. Macy Milton Arbogast.
Hey, is his name really Milton?
Yeah, his first name's Milton. They gave it a 41%. Good job, PJ.
41.
And now we go to the audience score.
Good job, PJ. I think you're starting to sound a little bit biased over here. You can do it.
All right. This one's for the gold. 0 to 100. This is the audience.
$32. That's what.
PJ's giving it a 46.
Oh, you thought people were lenient toward this thing.
All right. I've ran out of people to kill.
Hold on. You know what?
There were only 2.
Just go with the mom.
You're both the mom then.
Wow. Okay. Well, no, you could be mom and her lover or whatever.
Yeah, there we go. Jason, you're the mom. PJ, you're the lover.
Great. Okay. This just got weird now.
It was a 26%.
Oh, darn. I was too nice.
But
I should have gave it a big old 0.
But, you know, Jason started us on this Vince Vaughn rabbit hole of horror.
Oh.
And by golly gee willikers, we're continuing down this rabbit hole of fun with Vince Vaughn and horror.
Oh, wait. Actually, now I got a couple in mind that I might be thinking about. What do we got, Jeremy? What do we got?
We, next week, will be watching Freaky!
Oh. Yes. What was, wasn't he in, like, was it domestic?
Domestic disturbance, but that is a crime. Not
I was just about to say. See, as soon as you said we're gonna keep on with this Vince Vaughn thing, that was the first thing I thought was like, because that was like a movie you kept talking about at one point. I'm like,
it's not horror, but this is a horror movie.
Yes, it is.
Came out 4 years ago, and Vince Vaughn plays a killer called the Butcher.
Yes.
He's literally quoted as the Butcher. And apparently,
oh look, there's 2 of me. Okay.
They like change bodies with some girl. I don't know, but it's supposed to be a horror comedy, so
yeah. So think of it as it's called Freaky.
It's like Freaky Friday except horror.
Yep, that's essentially what it is. So I switches places with a mom, switches places with a serial killer.
Yep. So sit back and let's see what happens.
Oh boy.
And it's a Bloom house.
Oh, okay. I can dig a Bloom house.
I think I saw it at Discount Bonanza.
Okay, so I was never the most popular.
Homecoming's this weekend. Booker is gonna be at the dance.
And boys never really noticed me. Honestly, if this was a horror movie, I'd be one of the first ones to get killed.
Cute, creepy dude in a mask.
Like I said. But actually, it turns out
Where am I?
I didn't get killed.
Oh my god, why do I sound like that? Blissfield Butcher strikes again.
Don't freak out.
You're black. I'm gay. We are so dead.
You stop. It's me. It's Millie. Him. Blissfield. I feel our glory and our might.
And not only is that psycho wearing my body, he's killing it.
He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Who knows how many of our friends he's gonna kill?
Are you sure this is safe?
No.
Oh my God, it's a slaughterhouse.
I have like less than 6 hours to swap back or I'm gonna be stuck in this body forever.
Hurry up, loser. I gotta take a dump.
I have to admit, it hasn't been all bad.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Whoa! How's that feel? I'll make you wish your stupid face was never born. Oh my God, did you just pee yourself? Whoa, what am I wearing?
I'm actually really liking this for you.
Oh my God, it's a Blissfield Butcher!
Great. We're gonna get killed by Murder Barbie.
I can't wait to kill you.
Time to stop this asshole.
We're in this together.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Look, I know I look like the butcher, but it's Millie.
He's crazy.
Okay, Booker, can you look at me, please?
Dry up, bitch.
Booker, help! Booker!
Will you shut up?
Booker!